Now we're ready to make the little treat boxes or drawers that fit inside of the niches. There's 31 of them. They each hold a treat and they're numbered so that you can count down the days until Halloween. On page 3 of the cutting guide under miscellaneous, you can see that there's listed 31 of the drawer fronts. I've decided to cut mine just a little bit shy of 1¼ inch square. I have them at 1 3/16 inch square. You could make them 1¼ inch. I wouldn't go smaller than 1 1/8 for those. And you need 31. I just have a couple of them out here. And then for how to make the boxes themselves, there's 2 different sizes. We need 12 of the smaller size, and this diagram shows how to make it. This makes into a 7/8 inch open top cube. And then we need 19 of the larger size, and that has 7/8 inch sides and 1 1/4 inch sides. And those fit in the left house and the right house. The smaller ones go into the tower niche. So I've just got a couple of them out here to show you how they go together. So first we'll start off by putting our boxes together, and I've just put some 1/8 inch score tape on the little tabs, and I've already done all of my scoring. And these tabs just get folded up and you just make a little box. And that's how we do follow the same process to make the larger size box. So now I have both of my boxes made, and we're ready to turn our attention to the fronts. And for each one of the treat boxes, I've cut a 1 inch square of pattern paper. And I think you can see out here on my side, I've got listed what I need for each one. And the scheme I'm using for the small boxes, I need 5 cream, 3 purple, 4 orange, and for the large boxes I need 3 cream, 8 orange, and 8 green. So you can of course use whatever paper you want. That's just the plan I'm going to use. So I've attached some score tape to the back of this pattern paper, and I inked the edges. Now I'm just going to center that on my square of chipboard. I'll do that for both of these. And now I need to take our awl, and we want to put a hole 1/4 inch down from the top and centered left to right. So I'm just using my craft mat to get the 1/4 inch down, and then I'm using my ruler to help me get the hole. It doesn't need to be a very big hole. We're going to put a piece of 20 gauge wire through here, so it's not a gigantic hole that's needed. So I just have a couple of eye pins here that I've made from 20 gauge wire. They're a couple of inches long. You could probably purchase eye pins that are similar. And what I want to do with each one of these is just twist that loop to open it up, and then install one of these little Tim Holtz type charms that we're using for the numbers. And it just slips on there, and then we'll use our pliers to close that loop back up. Now you can see I have another set of pliers here. This wire bends pretty easily. So I just have that installed on the end of my loop. And then we'll put that through the hole in our front. And we'll make sure that the opening is on the top and the ring is, hopefully you can see it there, which the ring is parallel with the side edges. And then we want to bend this wire down. I find the easiest thing to do is to hold on to it on the front and bend it straight across, and then I can bend it down. That way I get it tight up there. Now I can just hold on to it in the front again, because it's a little tricky to bend it down to begin with, but you may be more skilled at wire work than I am. And once I have it there, I'm just going to give it a squeeze so it's sitting flat against the back. And then I'm just going to use some wire cutters to trim this back. So it's about like that. So now that we have it like this, we can add some score tape to the front of our box. And on the small boxes, obviously they're all the same size, so you don't have to worry about which side is the front. But when you do the bigger box, it's also the small side. The small side is always the front. So I'll just put some score tape on that as well. You don't have to use score tape. You could use adhesive. I'd use strong adhesive, glossy accents, or diamond glaze or something like that. I just found that the score tape holds up fine in this application, and obviously you don't have to worry about waiting for drying time. So I'll make sure that where the eye pin is, that's the top of my box, and now I'm just going to center this on the back. And once I get it centered, I'll put it on. And I just have an old mouse pad here that I can use to support it while I burnish around and make sure that is in there well. So I'll repeat that for my larger size box here. Now, a couple of things. The little type charms do have a front and a back, so you want to make sure that when you install them, that the side that is kind of recessed there's one side that's flat and one side that has kind of a rim on it. The rim side should be on the outside. And then you'll want to test the boxes inside of the holes. Once in a while, they're a little bit too big, and then you can just simply take your scissors and, trim off whatever's needed to get it to fit in the hole. Then I'll include up on Dropbox this template in case you would like to use these numbers that I have. I just created them in Word. They're 1/2-inch circles, and which is sized to fit in these charms because they just come with letters, and we obviously want the numbers. And depending on where you're going to put them in your house and what scheme you want to use will depend on what number you put where. So I would suggest making the boxes first and then deciding what scheme you're going to use for the numbers, and then put the numbers on the boxes so that you get them lined up the way you want. The charms come with some little bubbles that can go on the top. You can use them or not. I think there should be room for them. The only place where, again, the depth gets to be a little bit of a concern is in the tower. So the big thing is that the combined depth of the chipboard front and the charm, everything, can't be more than 1/4 of an inch. I think there should be room to have the bubbles on there, but you'll want to test it out and make sure. You do have a total of 32 with the 2 packages. We only need 31 for the house, so you've got one to play with and test. So if there isn't room for the bubble, then you just won't use the bubble, and it'll just be fine. And then, just to show you, these are just sized so that a little Hershey's Kiss will fit right in there. Obviously, if they fit in the smaller one, they'll fit in the bigger one. So we'll go ahead and make all of those boxes and put their numbers on and install them inside of the house.